Welcome everybody, my name is Mr. Llama and today I am bringing you a TVT on Cloud Kingdom LE here. And it is going to be between our Red Terran Gulgi, who is going to be spawning down in the bottom left corner, and in the top right corner we do have our blue player cArl, and I kind of want to emphasize the A because he has it capitalized. So this is going to be between two Bronze League players. So always interesting to watch their strategies right here, and looks like cArl, very advanced for bronze, does have his rally point already set out there to build that supply depot with that SCV, form a little wall, and he's going to probably put it back. So yes, cArl, very smart right there already. And Gulgi down here looking to do some sort of wall off at his natural there, so possibly going to do some sort of early expand, maybe a gasless expansion, one racks expand, something along those lines. Not exactly sure, but interesting. I don't think I've ever seen this on in a TVT at least before. I've seen this in plenty of times where I've played like ZVT where they'll wall this off, two racks and a supply depot or something like that. But I guess it makes sense, sure, why not? So right now it does look like Gulgi is a little bit behind in the workers, so he is going to have to be a little bit more careful there with his SCV production, making sure he does get that up. I think he did throw his supply depot up one supply early, so that possibly did hurt him a little bit. But cArl going for the standard wall off right here and throwing down that gas. In the meantime, Gulgi not throwing down that gas. And interestingly enough, throwing down a supply depot over here. So a little bit all over the place, but I guess would a second racks fit there perfectly? It looks like it would. So maybe he's going to go for some sort of two racks play, something like that. We'll have to see exactly what he does. So he's starting out with a barracks, or a marine right here out of his barracks. And in the meantime, we do have cArl coming over to scout, gonna go ahead and see what is up, and we'll see what he does, how he reacts when he does see that this building is going to be right here. And Gulgi's SCV gonna go ahead and mindlessly run away while the marine does stand there. So Gulgi gonna go ahead and get his orbital command, and it has finished right now. So a little bit early there, or cArl's was a little late, I should say, as he did get that gas, that barracks, and it looks like he got that second supply depot actually before he did get the orbital command. So a little bit interesting builds here, a little different. And yes, there we go. We do see two racks going down right now. So did cArl see that? Yes, cArl did see both of those. But in the meantime, we do have a scan going down right now from Gulgi, and it looks like, yes, he is going to be able to see that there's a wall going down, but he will not see the tech lab that is being added on. So that is something that he is going to definitely have to scout here, possibly with a marine or an SCV, something along those lines, as we do have a marauder coming out. So some sort of early push, I would predict, going to be happening here from our Terran player cArl, and possibly getting an upgrade, as he does have 150 gas banked. So maybe going for a stim or an early concussive shells. I am not sure exactly, but he is throwing down a second barrack, so it does look to be 2 racks versus 3 racks at the moment. So Gulgi not taking any early expansion actually, but instead just using this as a sort of wall to hide his units behind here, kind of create a little choke that units have to funnel in through there, and then throwing up a third barracks back here, so trying to confuse his opponent. Now, I mean, you see this in all levels of play actually, where players will wall off like this, and then their opponent thinks they're doing some sort of expand, and in fact they're just throwing up more tech structures or more building structures right back here, and then they'll just go for some sort of all-in play or some sort of one base big timing push or something to catch their opponent off guard. But cArl looking to be smart here, throwing down that bunker, so he knows something's up. He did see those 2 racks, and he is a little bit worried. So he's going to get that bunker up and have a couple marauders here. Actually, 3 marauders out for cArl. And does he have some sort of research started? No, he does have reactor, though, coming down on this barracks. So always good to get that reactor out when you don't feel like you're going to be pressured immediately, as they do take a long time to build. 50 seconds to build a reactor. So that's an insanely long build time, and if you're under pressure and you start throwing reactors down, it is going to just take simply too long to get out other units, really, or to get out the units that you need for that reactor to finish. So usually you will wait to get that going. In the meantime, we do have Gulgi getting that map base awareness right there. Look at that. So he is all over his base with all of his buildings. And he is just continuing to build up this marine ball. So in the unit count, we do have 12 marines right now for Gulgi. to the opponent's 4 Marines and 4 Marauders, but cArl gonna go ahead and throw down that expansion right there behind that bunker, and it does not look like, no. gulgi has no clue what his opponent is doing. All he saw was that single barracks right there. And do we have a factory? Yes, we do have a factory, so it looks like cArl is going to be going into possibly getting out going into some sort of mech play, or going into starport, something along those lines, getting out medevacs, probably doing drops, something along those lines. So we will exactly have to see what he is doing, but he's also throwing down that second gas. So cArl taking this game a little bit more macro style, and gulgi just looking, still building up this marine ball, spreading these out, so possibly expecting some sort of banshee play to come in, as he did see that gas when he did scan, I believe. Yes, he did. So he did see that gas, so maybe thinking that there will be banshee play or drops coming in, something along those lines. But not doing anything to really add tech to his building at all. He does have this engineering bay, and he did get 2 gas up. So he is stockpiling a lot of gas, and there we go. We do see the +1 going down right now for gulgi. So possibly going to do some sort of +1 timing attack here with his giant marine ball. He doesn't have stim though, or combat shields. Oh yes, combat shields are finishing up actually. So we do have, what, 10, 15 more seconds there on combat shields, and possibly going to add stim in, as he does still have a lot of gas stockpiled, but he is going to have to do something pretty soon. It looks like he wants to expand with this SCV, but his mineral count is just way too low at the moment for that expansion, as he is mining from both gases. So something to always be careful of if you want to expand and you're mining from both those gases and trying to produce out of 3 racks at the same time, all those Marines, it's going to be a little difficult. So you have to usually decide between that, say, hey, either I want to tech up right now, I want to expand right now, something along those lines. But it looks like he is finally starting to save up some money here, and probably going to be throwing down this expansion at 400 minerals, maybe? Yes, and there we go. So the expansion finally does go down. In the meantime, though, cArl does have a scary force right now, and he does not have stim. Stim is halfway researched at the moment. So we will have to see if he does do some sort of push out, and he does have, there we go, the double medevac has gone down for cArl, so it looks like he is going to be going for some sort of drop play or making a push when these medevacs come out, and they will be coming out pretty close to the stim timing, I would say, maybe a little bit ahead of it, but that's going to be pretty darn close. We'll have to see if he does make a timing push off of that, as, when's the last time he scouted his opponent? He hasn't scouted in a long time. It looks like our player gulgi actually all of a sudden deciding he may want to make this a macro game. He does have about 400 minerals left still, so possibly going to be taking this expansion over here, take a quick ninja expansion. But the problem is, will he be able to deal with some sort of push that is coming out right now? No, it's not actually. cArl throwing down a second bunker and being very defensive right now, but he doesn't know exactly what his opponent is doing. So gulgi actually spending all that money, and it looks like he's very uncertain as to what he's doing, and he's getting high-sec auto-tracking. So he's getting that +1 infantry level there, and I'm very unsure about this auto-tracking because I don't see any auto-turrets, planetary fortresses, he doesn't have any ravens or anything to really deal with this, or to utilize it, I should say. And he's morphing another orbital command right there. So in the meantime, we do see our blue player cArl pushing across the map. It looks like he is definitely going to try and take or use this to his advantage right here, as gulgi is down in supply. cArl gets a scan off. He sees there's only Marine force, and it is stuck in this choke right here. So cArl going to go ahead and push up. No, he's going to back off, take down the rocks first maybe. And no, here we go. We do see that he's finally going for an engage. He does have stim, unlike his opponent gulgi, and gulgi is stuck in a horrible position. All of his Marines were caught right there in between the 2 barracks, and it looks like cArl is just going to be able to overkill right here and just dominate his opponent. He does re-stim right there, but with all those medevacs, he's able to heal up again. He's able to snipe off this barrack, snipe off that depot, kill off the bunker. So both barracks do go down, and he possibly is going to go get this orbital right here. And it looks like gulgi is going to have to lift this off if he wants to save it, because there we go. Oh, nope, he's just going to GG out. He says, you know what, I realize I'm too far behind. 84 supply to 25. So cArl does have the economic lead, 38 harvesters to 23. He does have the unit lead there with the Marauders and the Marines. And he also has the stim, which unfortunately for our Terran player gulgi. He did not have stim at all. So GG, well won by cArl. Nice little +1 push there with those medevacs. Or not +1, I'm sorry, stim push with those medevacs and a lot of marauders actually. So able to snipe off that bunker and everything like that. So GG, well played, man. Mr. Llama out.